Imagine you're out exploring, maybe near a stream or a marshy field. You see a plant with delicate, lacy white flowers that look a bit like Queen Anne's lace. It seems harmless, even pretty, but this plant could be water hemlock, which holds the title of the most violently toxic plant in all of North America. It's a silent assassin of the plant world, responsible for the deaths of countless animals and even people who have accidentally eaten it. Known by other chilling names like children's bane and poison parsnip, this plant's innocent appearance hides a truly deadly secret. It's a member of the carrot family, but mistaking it for a wild carrot or parsnip could be the last mistake you ever make. The danger of water hemlock lies in a powerful toxin called sicutoxin. This substance is a violent convulsant, meaning it causes terrible seizures. The highest concentration of this poison is found in the plant's roots, which can look deceptively like small white carrots or parsnips. In fact, just a tiny piece of the root, about 2 to 3 centimeters long, contains enough sicutoxin to kill a fully grown adult. The poison is so potent that it can even be absorbed through your skin. There are tragic stories of children who died simply from playing with whistles they made from the plant's hollow stems. Every single part of this plant, from its roots to its flowers, is packed with this lethal poison. What makes water hemlock even more treacherous is its inviting smell and taste. Unlike many poisonous plants that are bitter or have a foul odor to warn animals away, water hemlock actually smells fresh, like a turnip, and has a sweet taste. This deceptive sweetness lures both livestock and unsuspecting humans into taking a bite. Animals grazing in wet pastures are frequent victims, but people who are foraging for wild edibles are also at high risk if they can't properly identify the plants they are gathering. This combination of extreme toxicity and a pleasant taste makes water hemlock a uniquely dangerous threat in the wild. The toxin, sicutoxin, works by attacking the central nervous system. It specifically targets the receptors in your brain that help keep your nerve cells from becoming overactive. When sicutoxin blocks these receptors, it's like flipping a switch that causes all your nerves to fire uncontrollably. This leads to the violent full-body seizures that are the hallmark of water hemlock poisoning. The body is thrown into chaos, unable to regulate its most basic functions. Understanding this mechanism is key to appreciating just how rapidly and completely this plant can overwhelm a person or animal, leading to a swift and often tragic outcome. So, how do you spot this dangerous plant out in the wild? Water hemlock is a perennial, meaning it grows back every year. It can grow quite tall, sometimes reaching nearly 2 meters in height. Its stem is smooth, hollow, and often has purplish streaks or spots, especially near the base. At the top of these stems you'll find its most recognizable feature: small white flowers that grow in umbrella-shaped clusters known as umbels. These clusters look a lot like the flowers of other harmless plants in the carrot family, which is why misidentification is so common and so dangerous. Always remember to look at the whole plant, not just the flowers. Water hemlock thrives in wet, marshy environments. You are most likely to find it growing along the edges of streams, rivers, and ponds. It also loves soggy ditches, swampy meadows, and wet pastures where livestock might graze. Its preference for wet soil is a key identifying factor. If you are in a dry, upland area, you are less likely to encounter it. This plant is widespread across the northern hemisphere, with different species found throughout North America, Europe, and Asia. So no matter where you're exploring near water, it's crucial to keep an eye out for this plant and to teach others what to look for. One of the biggest dangers of water hemlock is how easily it can be confused with edible or harmless plants. Its flowers look very similar to those of Queen Anne's lace, also known as wild carrot, and its roots can be mistaken for wild parsnips or even water parsnip, which is a non-toxic relative. However, there are differences if you look closely. For example, Queen Anne's lace usually has a single tiny dark purple flower in the center of its white umbel, and has a hairy stem, while water hemlock's stem is smooth. The root of water hemlock, when cut, will ooze a yellowish, oily substance that contains the sicutoxin. These small details can be life-saving. It's also important not to confuse water hemlock with its infamous relative poison hemlock. While both are highly toxic, they contain different poisons and have different features. Poison hemlock, the plant used to execute the philosopher Socrates, contains the alkaloid conine, which causes paralysis. It has a smooth stem with distinct purple splotches, not streaks, and it can grow much taller than water hemlock. Poison hemlock also has a foul, mousy odor when its leaves are crushed. While both plants are deadly, knowing the difference can help with correct identification and understanding the specific threat each one poses. If someone accidentally ingests water hemlock, the symptoms appear with terrifying speed, usually within 15 to 90 minutes. The first signs of mild poisoning often include nausea, severe abdominal pain, and vomiting as the body desperately tries to expel the toxin. However, the situation can escalate very quickly from these initial warnings. The victim might also experience excessive drooling and sweating as the nervous system begins to lose control. These early symptoms are a critical warning sign that immediate medical help is needed, as the window to intervene is incredibly small before the poison takes full effect. As the poisoning becomes more severe, the symptoms become much more dramatic and life-threatening. The victim may have difficulty breathing and their skin can start to turn a bluish-purple color, a condition called cyanosis, which is a sign of oxygen deprivation. This is when the cytotoxin's full effect on the central nervous system becomes apparent. The uncontrolled nerve firing leads to the most feared symptom of water hemlock poisoning, violent tonic-clonic convulsions, also known as grand mal seizures. These seizures are intense and relentless, causing the entire body to shake and stiffen uncontrollably. Tragically, there is no antidote for cytotoxin. Medical treatment is purely supportive, meaning doctors can only try to manage the symptoms and keep the person alive until the poison works its way out of their system. This usually involves administering anti-seizure medications, providing respiratory support with a ventilator to help them breathe, and managing cardiac function. Even with the best medical care, death occurs in about 30% of severe poisoning cases. The cause of death is typically from the seizures themselves becoming continuous, a state called status epilepticus, which leads to respiratory failure or cardiac arrest. The long-term effects for survivors can also be severe. The violent seizures can cause muscle breakdown, leading to kidney failure. Some people who survive water hemlock poisoning have reported lasting neurological issues, including memory loss and tremors. The experience is incredibly traumatic, both physically and mentally. The swift and violent nature of the poisoning serves as a stark reminder of the immense power contained within this plant, and why it is absolutely critical to avoid any contact with it. The battle for survival is intense, and the outcome is never guaranteed. The number one rule for staying safe from water hemlock is simple. If you don't know what a plant is with 100% certainty, do not touch it, and definitely do not eat it. This is especially true when foraging for wild edibles. Many people get into trouble because they mistake water hemlock for wild carrots or parsnips. Educate yourself and your family on how to positively identify this plant. Remember its key features: the smooth, hollow, purplish streaked stem, the umbrella-shaped clusters of white flowers, and its habitat in wet, marshy areas. Taking a picture and consulting a reliable field guide or expert is always the safest bet. If you discover what you believe is water hemlock on your property or in a public area, do not try to remove it yourself. Remember, the cytotoxin can be absorbed through the skin. Attempting to pull it out of the ground, especially without proper protective gear, is extremely risky. The roots are the most toxic part, and breaking them can release the poisonous, oily sap. Contacting a professional weed removal service or your local agricultural extension office is the best course of action. They have the training and equipment to handle and dispose of this hazardous plant safely. If you or someone you know accidentally touches or even worse, eats any part of a plant suspected to be water hemlock, you must act immediately. This is a life or death medical emergency. Call 911 or your local emergency number right away. While waiting for help to arrive, try to identify what part of the plant was eaten and how much. If possible, take a sample of the plant with you to the hospital, but handle it with extreme care using gloves or a plastic bag. Do not try to induce vomiting unless instructed to do so by a poison control expert or a 911 operator. Ultimately, knowledge and caution are your best defenses against this silent assassin. Teach your children never to eat wild plants without your permission, and to recognize the danger of plants with small white flowers growing near water. By respecting the wild and understanding the potential dangers that exist, we can all explore the outdoors more safely. Water hemlock is a powerful reminder that nature is full of wonders, but it also contains hidden threats. Be smart, be safe, and always be aware of your surroundings. Your life or the life of someone you love could depend on it.